It's King Philidor again. I'm back, and we're talking about checks and captures. Now, the important thing about checks and captures is they can help cut down on how much stuff you actually have to look at when it's your turn to move. If you ever didn't like chess before, or you found chess to be difficult, challenging, or whatever the case may be, it's probably because you're simply just looking at too many moves. Now, if we look here at the legal possibilities, in other words, all the moves that can be made by black, and when you see the scarf there, it means it's black's turn. There's 40 possibilities, but you only got to look at 4. So here's a general rule: rewind as many times as you want to. I suggest you write this down. It's part 1 of 4, and that's to look at every check and every capture every time, regardless of what you think, whether it makes sense or not, whether they can take you or not, to see where everybody can and cannot go. So here is black's turn again, and we got 4 checks. We have a check here, and a check here, and a check here. So when you're counting the checks, you start off with the checks for the queen first, then the checks for the rooks, then the checks for the bishops, then the checks for the knights, and then the checks for the pawns. And you do the captures the same way. So here, the correct move was there. Now, I know some of you may be looking at this, but you're forcing your opponent to go to their best square. Here, you allow them to make the mistake of playing here, and that would result in a checkmate in just 3 moves. No fun at all for white. Alright, so let's go ahead and put everything back. And the correct move again is here, and our king's going to go up here. Now, when we look at this position, the number of possibilities has increased to 47. Now, if your computer actually will look at every legal move, but human beings just don't have that kind of time. Here there are 8 checks, so let's see if you can count them before I do. I got 1, 2, 3. Anytime a king and a queen are 1 square apart, there's at least 3 to 5. But I got 1, 2, 3, then 4, and then 5, 6, 7, and 8. So, of course, the one we chose to use in the game was here, and then they went here. So now with the movement of the queen and the expansion of what's going on with the rook, now there's 51 possibilities. Again, you can sit there looking at a whole bunch of moves that don't matter, or the first thing you can start looking at is the checks and captures, and in this position there are 8. So let's see if you're keeping up with me. Like I said, as soon as they're 3 apart, as soon as they're just 1 row apart, I know it's automatically going to be 3 to 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, and 8. Now here's the part we're talking about where it's about where you can and cannot go. Anytime you get attacked by a knight or a pawn, you only got 2 choices, and that's run or take. Block is no longer an option. So what happens if black decides to, if white decides to run instead of take the knight? And some of you are going, I don't know. But for a lot of you, you're just going to go, well, that's checkmate. So, is your opponent going to fall for all the stuff you can see? No, of course not. But you're finding out where everybody can and cannot go. So if you're sitting here imagining this position, and you're looking at knight comes down here, and you can see what happens when this goes up here, then you can see this comes over here and it's me. You're only looking at a move and a half. So one of the other principles that we're working on is a white, black, white, black, white, or a black, white, black, white, black. It's not a real combo unless it's 2.5 moves long. So here, they have to take. And now it's time to count the checks again. This time we're in a position where we have over 43 possibilities. So again, you can be looking at 43 moves, or you can be looking at, in this case, 10. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9 and 10. So we picked this one, and then we went here. Now again, you can keep looking at the possibilities, but really the only thing you got to do is count checks. So, and if we count checks in this position, how many you getting? Yeah, I'm waiting for you for a minute. Okay, let's see what we got. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Did anybody catch me? Alright, I'll count them again. I gotta mess with you every once in a while. Alright, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So the check that was used was here. This goes here, and now we have the family check. So again, here I don't think you have a problem trying to figure out what to do. The king goes here. Queen went here. They played here, and we took. So if you want to take and start making it so that it's easier and easier to figure out which move to do, if you want to take and become desensitized to materials so you can start making some real combinations, if you want to take and be able to start seeing 3 or 4 or even 5 moves ahead, start looking at the checks and captures until they run out. Don't just look at a move and say, well, I take them, they take me back, and I just lose my queen. Yeah, you lose your queen, but where do they have to go to take that queen? Where do they have to go to run from that queen? Where do they have to go to block that queen? And once it blocks, is it stuck blocking? All the questions you should be asking. So every check and every capture every time, regardless of what you think, whether it makes sense or not, whether they can take you or not, to see where everybody can and cannot go. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you.